order the Stevensville Town Council meeting agenda for Thursday, November 14th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Janelle, would you please take the roll call?
Councilmember Barker. Here. Councilmember Brown. Here. Councilmember Nelson.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Michelson.
Here, would you all please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Move on to item number 3, public comments. Comments on anything not on the agenda tonight. If you would, please go up there, sign your name, your address.
Hello, my name's Pierre. If you're in town, and I just want to talk a little bit about the Ahava situation going on with parking. I'm fully aware of, I've spent a lot of time at Ahava. I've done some jewelry shows with my wife there. I stay hours at a time. I see how it is not easy for traffic and such that goes along there. And I know it can be dangerous, but I don't want to see like the parking completely taken away from Kylie and her business there on that end, because I think it's going to be really tough for her to keep a lot of business to stay open. I know some people, we were talking about, being a block or so down south and maybe walking back up again, but I just don't know if people will do that or not. And I don't know what other options there are as such, but she's done a really good job there and she's hired some good people. And I don't want to see it go away, definitely not. So anyway, just want to put in my 2 cents worth for her. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Any other public comments from the public before I ask Janelle to read her public comment? Seeing none, Janelle, would you read the list, please?
It's from Jim Cruz, Wednesday, November 13th, 10:09 p.m., sent to the town clerk and Bob Michelson. My public comment for the town council meeting for 11/14/24 is in regard to the parking area commonly used by the coffee shop on Main Street across from Kodiak Jack's. I have attached a video link that will express my comments, and I request that this be played for the council and the public. You have the capability to do this, so there should be no reason not to do so. I do have this link, and if anyone is interested in seeing the videos that Mr. Cruz has put together, I can email that out to you. So just please let me know. We'll leave your information after the meeting. The video is short, is narrated, and has text for the hearing impaired. As there seems to be a significant interest in this parking area by many people who support the business, I think it is beneficial to show the problem. I sent this video to the town and to MDT over 2 years ago. There is plenty of parking on either side of the road before and after the proposed no parking area. That should be made clear to the public and business. Some believe the town is targeting the business, and in no way does this appear to be the case. It is simply an issue of safety. Jim Cruz, 316 9th Street, Stevensville.
Thank you, Janelle. You're welcome. All right, we'll move on to item number 4, the approval of minutes. Town council meeting minutes of 10/24. Entertain a motion, please. Councilmember Parker.
I make a motion for the approval of town council meeting minutes from 10/24/2024.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have a discussion on the council on minutes? Council good to go on the minutes? Any corrections, additions, deletions? None? Okay, seeing none, is there any discussion from the public on the minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker?
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Abstain.
Councilor Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-1, one abstain. We move on to item number 5, approval of the bi-weekly claims. Can I entertain a motion? Councilmember Smith.
I move that we approve claims number 19314 through 19365.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a discussion from the council on the claims? Councilmember Brown.
Yes, on claim number 19328, for the, Berta Farms. Are we getting any closer to getting some of our bills off to be, so that it can be collected on the tax bill?
Yes, in fact, I don't know if I forwarded you guys that, Greg has just sent a written thing to the judge so that we can start getting paid. We're at, and we can get that Monday.
And I had a couple other questions. Claim number 19341, George May Property Tax 2024,
What page is that?
page 20.
So it's that tax bill that we paid, we've been paying every year, it's $20.44. Do you remember that tax bill we were looking at? Remember that? I don't know why we're doing that, but
It comes every year.
it comes every year, yeah.
It could be where we thought it might be the one that's connected to Maplewood, but we were still looking into that.
Yeah, it's a small,
It's
yeah, it's
such a small thing.
But
Yeah.
we've been paying it for years,
Mhm.
like, it goes back like 15 years.
Could we find out why? I mean, it's,
Is this, I guess, under that claim, that 1764, is that the GO code?
Where's that?
Under the claim 19341,
Uh-huh.
that 1764-26-4-01.
That's the code. That's
The
tax
GO
code.
code on the tax bill?
Yeah, it is on the tax bill. Yeah.
Okay, that, I can look it up then, thank you.
Councilmember Barker.
claim number 19321. Go back up. Montana Department of Environmental, no, wait a minute, I got that one on there too, but
Department of Revenue,
yes.
that's the 1% gross receipt tax that you have to pay for the state for our contractors. So, MRI and MR Asphalt, they have to hold back the 1%. We pay the state, and then MRI or whoever, in this case, yeah, this would be MRI, they can go in and pull that money from the state.
Then I had, go down to 93331. Okay, this is the one I was talking, Montana Department of Environmental Annual Drinking Water Fee for water systems.
Yes,
And then permit registration. Is this a new connection or is it, what is this?
19331, that's an annual service for our drinking water system. It's part of RM 17.38.248, it's for service connections. So we have 903 connections, times $2, that comes up to 1806, and that's what we have to pay every year.
Okay. And then. Go back down to 19344 Hub, Wilbert Precast and Work.
What was that again, 19?
19344. And it looks like it's a Visa transaction or a card transaction.
Yes, there's there's like every Visa bill, everything that's charged to the Visa bill, you have those charges on here. So is there a specific one?
It was, who is Wilbert Precast Incorp., I guess is what it is.
That was the niche place, wasn't it?
I'm trying to find
Yeah.
where it's in one of those. CC, which is the credit card 32 on 10-1 Spectrum. So why is that coming up as Wilbur Precasting Corp?
I'm sorry,
Wilbur Precasting Corp. For how much? For how much?
I think it was 270.
274.
Yeah, I was just curious why, I guess I don't ever recall seeing it like this, but maybe that was, maybe I
You
had.
purchased some niche plates for the, for Riverside Cemetery. And so we ordered those through a company in Spokane,
Okay,
and that's what that would be
okay.
from that particular company.
And then I see a bunch of the Costco charges that are both the same. It says water and then WWTP, what is that right below it? I see it on several different spots where you have water.
Are you talking about Spectrum?
No, I'm talking about Costco. It's the same down further.
Yeah, so they're just split up between the different departments. So, you'll have, we take the total bill and we split it between the different departments. So, for this part, Costco, you have $80.13 that went to the water. Then you have $79.89 that went to sewer. Under admin was $72.75. Costco, there was another water for $145.50. And then the wastewater treatment plant was $145.50.
When you order supplies from Costco, it's for everybody to bring it in, and then the cost is split between all the departments.
And it depends, so they needed garbage bags, they needed those big garbage bags, and the total was like $250 or something like that. So,
The Civic Plus under 19363, Unicode meeting minutes renewals. So I guess I've never really paid attention, I guess, on how this was broke out. It just, are these meeting, I mean, would you explain what it is, I guess, that we're paying for?
We're paying for our website, we're paying for the ability to have our town code on the website. We're paying for the ability to set up meetings and have, where I set up the meetings and the agenda packets. And then that program through Unicode or Civic Plus talks back to our website. And that's how those pieces are loaded into the website. So when we go view an agenda packet or go back and look at old agendas. And then that's also taking care of the minutes that I type, you guys approve. When they're approved, then they get uploaded to the website. X number of gigabytes that we pay for to be able to hold those there.
Is this something newer that we've done before?
We've
Is it something
had
always
this
done?
for years.
I guess I just, looking through here and seeing the cost of the.
But then Gina takes
2011.
that, yep, it's a lot. And then I give that bill to Gina and then she takes that and uses her percentages
Breaks it down.
and breaks it down to how each of the departments are utilizing the website and that's how.
And I'm sure it's been maybe, it's been one line item and now I'm seeing it as
We only
multiple
pay
line
once a
items.
year.
no,
It's
it's
once a year,
been
okay.
on multiple line items, because we do fund accounting, and we have to split when you look at the budget. So that's where all of those charges come, like for subscriptions and, office supplies, those things like that. Those things get split up between each of the different departments. And because every department here, we all use the meeting minutes renewal, the subscriptions for the gigabytes to hold those meetings, as well as the web access for it. all of the departments share in the cost of that, because we all use it.
I guess maybe it was just the cost that just.
It's
It has
shocking
gone up.
because we got them, so last year when we got them, I wasn't sure what it was, because I was pretty new, and I was like, what is this? And so, these didn't come up until like December.
See, and I see that this shows December's date on there. That's why I was kind of.
Yeah, it's a lot, there's no doubt.
And they're really good, the company, in the sense of they're good about giving us the invoices upwards of sometimes 60 days in advance, knowing that things have to go through council for approval, and so that we're not having our website or having that ability. So they're really good about sending those things out early, and then I get them over to Gina within a good 30, sometimes 60 days ahead.
Thank you.
In every town and city has to use Unicode.
Oh, I'm sure. I was just, like I said, the cost was one that just,
Is that it for you on claims?
I know.
Okay. Councilmember Nelson.
Page 4, claim number 19336, Grove Street Tree Service, or Graves Tree Service, LLC. $450 for removal of broken limbs.
Was that the park?
No, this was the,
Yeah, it says,
was it at the park or
Yeah,
this
it
was
says
just the one that
park.
was?
No, a tree fell on Ramona Vance's.
Right.
storage units.
Storage
Yeah.
shed.
Okay, so and that was the park over here.
No.
No, it was the park. Father.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I got confused. $450 for that?
Oh, it's expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's expensive.
I understand.
We're
that.
looking at having just a tree removed from our front yard and we're looking over $1,000
Yeah,
just to have it removed.
I was thinking branches being cleared from the roof, not a tree being cleared. I misunderstood. Thank you.
I think this was a little bit more than just the
Yeah, yeah.
person that could do. They had to have a more professional person cutting off these big ones and stuff like that. So,
That makes sense, yeah, that makes more sense.
yeah. Otherwise, the public works crew would have cleaned it up, they just couldn't.
And just for my personal understanding, claim number 19328, page 3.
19328.
Yes. Is this what we're pertaining to about Buddha Farms? Is this current? Current litigation?
Are you talking about the Overstreet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he sends us a bill, I break it out in order for me to keep tabs on, what we're spending on it. It's just transparency.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I was just curious, is that part of what we were talking about? earlier?
Right, because when we first started this Buddha Farms deal, in the written from the district judge, he said that the town could recoup losses on all this, the expenses.
How do we do that? That's kind of my question.
We go back after them on the taxes.
We go back at Buddha Farms on the
Yes.
taxes for the bills that
Yes.
reoccur during litigation? But like during current litigation or the previous litigation?
We put the money
What's going on now?
It's ongoing.
What's going on?
It's still ongoing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other comments on the claims from the council? Any questions from the public on the claims? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker?
Aye.
Councilor Brown?
Aye.
Councilor Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
All right.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 6, administrative reports, airport. Mr. Brian Jermaine.
All right, let's see. Courtesy car, we've got the new graphics installed on that. It's back up at the airport now. I was hoping to have the final liability policy in place today. I didn't receive it, so hopefully I'll get that tomorrow morning. And then that car should be off and running. Let's see, maintenance. Snowplow, we completed the annual maintenance on that over the weekend. Got the blade changed out, got a lot of adjustments made, etc. So that should be all up and running now. Jeff, thanks for allowing us to pull that engine up a little bit. Get that broom in behind you there. That helped a lot. Let's see, CIP projects. So we've had a number of meetings with the FAA, both in Helena and virtually. Had another one this morning, just kind of working our way through all the 2025 projects. Things look really good for funding on the FAA side. State side, we find all that out in January, but on the FAA side, we look like we got a really good path to getting all of our asphalt and fuel tank project funded next summer. So that'll be huge for the airport. Fuel, as I said, we're going down the path of a whole new fuel tank. So that is probably our best solution right now. It's just not the fastest solution, unfortunately. We've got kind of a concurrent effort going to work on. We're working to try to get a vendor in there to provide fuel short term, but that's not moving terribly quickly. So right now we're kind of the message we're giving everybody is that fuel will be back probably this time next year. But until then, I don't see a real clear path for us getting any fuel back at the airport. Let's see the board. We've got one individual that has agreed to join the board and said they'd be getting an application in this week. So I don't know. Maybe that's tomorrow. Maybe it's Saturday. I don't know. But he's agreed to join. So we're super excited about that. Start to kind of replenish the ranks a little bit. Let's see, airport master plan. We're a big thing about that is right now we're reevaluating the whole airport layout plan and trying to make room for some more T hangars. There's a huge need for hangars right now, not only here in the valley, Hamilton, us, Missoula. There's no room. So T hangars are of course the most economical thing, and there are none. So we're looking at modifying the airport layout plan to make room for some more T hangars, and then also talking about investment hangars for the town, for the airport. It'll drive up some revenue for us. And then lastly, volunteers. We've just had some really, really great turnout with volunteers working on the plow, getting mowing done, getting things prepped for the winter. It's been really impressive. So just want to let you guys know that. That's all I got. Any questions? Great.
Thank you,
Thank
Ryan.
you, Ryan. Thank you. The building department's got a report in there. Finance, Jeff.
Okay, so you do have the report in the packet, basically the activity for October. Real quickly, we had 29 in-town calls, 38 within the district, 1 mutual aid request. Medical responses is again the leader, of course, 52 medical responses, 12 fires, and 4 motor vehicle crashes. We're sitting at 575 at the end of October. If you look at the total numbers, we're at 214 for the town and 341 within the district. It's pretty interesting to me over the years how close those two numbers have come by the end of the year. So that's the 557. 24 motor vehicle crashes. It's just getting busier out there, and I'm sure Chief can attest that the traffic is getting busier and busier. And we just left one 2 minutes before I walked in the door, so that's getting crazier all the time. So that's the report. It's kind of pretty much business as usual on that front. What's coming up? What's coming up is All Valley Fire Council is putting together a communications radio grant to upgrade and update departments' radios across the county. So we're looking to join in on that grant. We'll be one of 4 departments that needs to update their equipment. Town will be updating 22 handheld radios and 9 mobile stations and 2 repeaters. It will be a big number. To write that grant or share of the grant writer's cost is $1,800. And that's our share of that grant out of 4 departments. It's something that we need to do. Our last handheld radio, or newest handheld radio, is 2004. So it's 20 years old. That's our newest one out of the 22 handhelds. So our problem is lack of communications. They just don't reach. This new FCC communications regulations and the narrowing and the changing of bandwidths and all that fun stuff is getting to us. 1, 2, to buy those old HT 1250s, they're just not out there anymore. So we're being forced into upgrading and changing our handheld radios and our mobile radios. We put it off a long time. The grant is, they're getting it put together through the All Fire Council so that we will have a better chance at success, one, and better buying power by buying a larger quantity of the same radios up and down the valley. So we're looking to participate in that opportunity. So that's coming up. Also, I've been throwing some ideas, thoughts and numbers around at what the fire department side of a public safety levy might look like, or we might need to have. I mean, it's very infant stages, just throwing some ideas around, trying to get some thoughts together on that. Be getting together with Chief Mo here and see if we can put together idea-wise and what that might look like coming forward. But these things would slow down now. We have a little more time to devote toward that, so that's what we're doing upstairs. Yeah. Questions? Okay.
Nope, thanks,
Thanks.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay. Mr. John?
Mayor, council members, good evening. First, I want to say that those that don't know, Officer Pierce graduated from the Montana Coast Academy Friday of last week. And so he spent this week getting dialed in with his roles and responsibilities over at the school with Officer Franklin. Monday, Franklin will come to shift and he'll work the evenings, so we'll have a wider coverage with 2 officers in town. And then we'll have Pierce on his own over at the school as a resource officer. Cool. Also, as far as maintenance goes on the vehicles, as of tomorrow, we'll have our patrol vehicles with oil changes, and so we should be good to go for maintenance on vehicles. And I'll get with Miss Gina and provide the invoice on those. To work out a deal with Jess Automotive for the oil change, and we got a pretty good rate on that. So anyway, for the month of October, you should have the police activity report there in front of you. We had 82 calls for service. And granted, those are also including the self-initiated calls where we get out with a suspicious person, you know. But the Stevensville Police Department responded to 82 calls for service during the month of October. We also issued 13 citations. 11 of those were traffic violators, and 2 of them were for city ordinance violation or statutory violations. We issued 2 juvenile citations, which resulted in citations of a little arrest, where they'll be adjudicated with the juvenile detention center at some point. As you look down the October stat line there, the 2 arrests included the juvenile subjects. We handed out 18 warnings. All of our major crimes are pretty much, you know, as far as what we respond to on a daily basis, no major crimes to speak of. We did have a burglary. It was more or less a burglary into a storage facility down on the end of town on Main Street that had been occupied for a few years. Somebody who lives out of town apparently came back to empty the storage shed, and after 2 years, and discovered that many of the contents were missing from within it. That's the only major crime to speak of. Couple minor thefts. Somebody took a broom off of a porch, things of that nature. Suspicious activity calls seem to go up a little, but that's typical. And as the fire chief said earlier, we responded to 6 traffic accidents in the month of October. So traffic is a little bit of an issue. welfare checks, as you can see down on the stat line there, we actually stopped 31 vehicles for minor violations or infractions. So the combination of more officers being on the street, we're starting to see an increase of traffic violations and our effort to mitigate those. On board with where we're at, so, consistently month to month. Any questions for me? Yes, sir.
One of those traffic accidents was on the S curve there.
Two of them were between 5th and 6th on Main, either prior to or after, north or south of the S curve. Any other questions? Was that good?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
Mr. Lassiter is off chasing elk right now. The report's in front of you. I will only say one thing, that I sent you guys that report earlier this week about the unread meters. When I first started my job as a mayor, we had over 200 unread meters. We didn't have really anybody, as you know, we usually could make calls to set appointments up. Once Andrina came aboard, you can see by the numbers, she started knocking them out with Public Works. We're down to 66 meters now, which is great. We could get it down to between 20 and 30. That is a kind of a roving number every month, because you'll never get it down to 0 every month. There's always going to be an unread meter somewhere in town. So that's our goal. We'll get there. And I want to thank Andrina, and I want to thank Public Works for doing a great job. And by the way, we've knocked down our gallons of leaked water every month. I think we went to 15 million, that has been there forever, down to 11 now. 11 million gallons because of the unmanned meter change. So we're doing pretty good there. So, okay, that's it for Public Works. And we'll move on to item number 7, public hearings. First reading, proposal additions to ordinance number 135, ordinance of the town of Stevensville, traffic code section 1006100. So what that is you could read on Railroad Avenue between East and 2nd and East 3rd Streets is in the school zone and in the 50-mile-an-hour speed zone, making the addition of Railroad Avenue section 1006103 will allow law enforcement to write speed citations under the town code. Another addition, section 1060610 is future amendments to the section may be set by resolution. Instead of going for first reading, second reading, putting in a paper, blah, blah. This addition will help with any future changes to the Stevensville Traffic Code section 1006100 without an ordinance change. This is the first reading, and the second reading will take place of the 12/12/24 town council meeting. So if any member of the public would like to get up and speak about that at the public hearing, here's your chance. None? All right, we'll move on to item new business number 8. Discussion decision, additions to ordinance number 135, and ordinance of the town of Stevensville Traffic Code section 1006100-3. Can I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Brown.
I move we adopt the additions to ordinance number 135 and ordinance of the town of Stevensville traffic code section 10.06.103.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brown. Do we have a second? Councilmember Nelson.
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have discussion on the council? And another reason we're doing this too is because when John writes a ticket, he would have to put it under MCA code. And by putting it this way, he can put this ordinance number in there, and it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier work for Jessica, or a lot easier for Jessica upstairs too. So that's another reason we're doing this, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Councilmember Nelson.
So this is pertaining to the speed relative to the side area of the school there, where it's 50 miles an hour on the
Railroad Avenue.
Off kind of, okay.
Yep.
Are we talking about lowering the speed limit?
No, it's already
there. Oh, you just,
It's just a matter of paperwork mainly.
oh,
If somebody's speeding there and John writes a ticket, he has to put them in the MCA code instead of just the town ordinance.
all right, I misunderstood.
Basically cleaning it up.
Yeah, and we learned of this issue when we actually wrote a speeding ticket on that road.
Sounds good to me.
Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Move on to item number B under new business, discussion decision, placement of a 15-mile-an-hour speed sign at the corner of or bend of East Third and Railroad Avenue. So as you can see that, by the picture there, just as you round that corner from East Third Street onto Rail Street by the telephone pole there. And John and I took a drive through a week or so ago, and John wanted to know if we could stick a 50-mile-an-hour speed sign there. There's one on the other end coming north to south, but there isn't one on the same going. Just wanted to be more visible. So somebody could say, well, I didn't see the sign. Well, now you will. Okay, so with that, can I entertain a motion? Councilmember Nelson.
I make a motion of replacement of a 15-mile-per-hour speed sign at the corner of Bend and East Third Street and Railroad Avenue.
We have a motion by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have a second? Councilmember Smith.
I second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Smith. We have a discussion on the council on 15-mile-an-hour replacement of the sign. Seeing none, do we have a discussion from the public on the 15-mile-an-hour sign? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number C, discussion decision, replacement of a yield sign with a stop sign at the corner of Bend and East Third Street and Railroad Avenue. Now, this is directly across from the 15-mile-an-hour sign. There's a yield sign here. And there's one on the stop sign on the other end. This is a yield. And Chief Bull thinks it would be better if we could put a stop sign there than just a yield sign.
Also the replacement, sorry.
Yes, replace the yield sign with a stop sign. Yes.
We've got a lot of motorists that utilize that little area right there coming off Railroad from East Second, East Third into the parking lot. So we can prevent future incidents or issues at that location if we had a stop sign there that would actually halt vehicles while the traffic was moving up and down East Third.
In fact, when I did a walkthrough with the superintendent here about 3 weeks ago, he wanted to put move that stop sign right in the middle there to the right there. So they had a stop sign going out on the East Third and the Railroad. Here we are sitting over there with the yield sign. So
Confusing.
Yeah, it is. So with that, can I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Brown.
I move that we approve the replacement of a yield sign with a stop sign at the corner or bend on East Third Street and Railroad Avenue.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brown. May I have a second, please? Councilmember Nelson.
I second that.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Nelson. Do we have a discussion from the council? Councilmember Barker.
I understand the point with taking away the yield sign. I've been down that many times as well. However, why can't we do a three-way stop?
I don't know that specific intersection is appropriate for a three-way stop because some are coming out of the parking lot of the school. Obviously, you could put one there in the parking lot, but
But it would make,
the big thing I'm trying to get is we're coming off East Third from Park Avenue and they're navigating toward either Railroad or the parking lot. People coming down Railroad tend to bunch into those folks that are driving, the pedestrians or the motorists that are driving down East Third. And that's the problem that the school is having right now. But in the mornings, either myself or Officer Franklin are at that location just to kind of monitor it. And it typically tends to take care of itself when we're present, but in our absence, people just motor right on through it, so. And the yield is typically a suggestion apparently to most motorists. I think a stop sign would be more appropriate because it would, prevent any potential accident or problem that we have in that area.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Spanball?
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number D. Discussion decision, special event permit for the annual country Christmas and parade lights. Mr. Sean.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bad penny. I see that turn up every once in a while. It's time for our annual Christmas celebration. I know I was here a couple of weeks ago, kind of just giving the information for what it was we were planning. We now have everything in place as far as the permit from MDT. The burn permits have been reviewed by Chief Motley. And it's pretty much the same as it was last year. It's just kind of a rinse and repeat. We've got the parade led by the fire department that will take place at 6:30. We're going to close down Main Street from about 6:15, 6:20 until about 9:30. Horseless carriages, or not horseless, excuse me, horse-drawn carriages that'll be running up and down Main Street, plus another one that'll be going over to St. Mary's. A lot of the businesses looking forward to it, planning on staying open extra hours, offering all sorts of goodies and crafts and that kind of stuff. We'll have the stage on Main Street again for the Christmas story and the reading of Night Before Christmas. So the turning on of the lights over Main Street. I'll try to time the snow again to see if we can make that work out. Honestly, the only thing that we're changing this year from last year is the placement of one of the fire pits. We're just moving it 1 block north, so it's going to be sitting by Storybrook Medicine in their parking lot. It's actually going to make it really easy for that carriage. It's actually going to make it easier because they'll just, while Main Street is blocked, when they come down 4th, they'll just basically do a U-turn around Storybrook, drop off, pick up, and head back down the valley towards St. Mary's. We usually keep everything closed up till about 9:30, depending on the crowd, which of course depends on the weather. If it's super cold, we might be opening everything back up by 8. If the weather's nice, a lot of people are hanging out, typically end everything between about 9:30 and 10. Oh, and at 6 a.m. this Sunday, we're going to be hanging the lights over Main Street if anybody wants to come help.
Yeah, you can like take us on that.
It's actually going to be my first year missing it. So anyway, just helping approve the permit. I think everything's in place. We've got the parade route in there as part of the packet, traffic control plan, MDT permit, the whole bit. Any questions?
We'll get a motion in a second.
Oh, sorry.
For discussion. So with that, can I entertain a motion, council? Councilmember Smith.
I move that we approve special permit for the annual country, Christmas and parade of lights.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have Councilmember Barker?
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and we have a second by Councilmember Barker. Now, do we have discussion from the council? To Sean.
It looks pretty straightforward.
Cool.
So,
We have a new starting point. Looks like,
So last year we had to move the start of the parade to the south. So the parade actually starts at 2nd and Main to head down. Back in 2022, kind of got in a little bit of trouble because we used to come out on East Side and head to the Living Center. And we kind of got told we couldn't do that. And so the driver of the lead truck forgot that he wasn't supposed to go that way anymore. At least that's what he told me. And I got told personally by the supervisor for the district at MDT that if we did it again, the fine would be mine and not the club's. So I would love to be able to still do that, but I I can't afford it.
Shannon said turn right. We turned right.
Yeah, that's it. So we do all the staging now in the Lewis and Clark parking lot. That's where everybody lines up. It's gonna be in the parade. A few minutes before the parade starts to start, we have them come down second, stopping at Buck. Now the fire department jumps in to lead the parade, and as the last fire truck pulls in, and everybody else lines up behind them, and down south of on Main they go. It worked out pretty well last year, so.
Did Chief Ball, have time to approve everything?
Yeah, Sean shared a lot of it with me already. Matter of fact, we've been talking on the phone.
Okay, thank you.
Easy peasy.
Any other questions from the council, Sean? Any questions from the public, Sean?
Thank you.
None, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Item number E, discussion decision, suspension of town council rules to cancel November 28th, 2024 town council meeting in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday and authorizing claims to be paid out of separate. Entertain a motion from the council. Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to suspend town council rules to cancel the November 28th, 2024 town council meeting in observation of the Thanksgiving holiday and authorizing claims to be paid out of cycle.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Nelson.
I'll second that.
Councilmember Nelson, do we have a discussion on the council on canceling the turkey meeting? Councilmember Smith.
Who would be given the rundown of the cycle? We will eventually see them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The December 12th meeting.
Yes. Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Last item, item number F, discussion decision, suspension of town council rules to cancel the December 26th, 2024 town council meeting in observance of the Christmas holiday and authorizing claims to be paid out of cycle. Councilmember Smith.
I move for suspension of town council rules to cancel December 26, 2024, the town's council meeting in observance of Christmas holiday and authorizing those claims to be paid out of cycle.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
I second the motion.
We have a second by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a discussion from the council? Just so you know, if there's any special meetings or anything that comes up, so we notify, of course, so there could be more than one meeting in December, or actually. So. No discussion? Any discussion from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 9, board reports. Mr. Smith.
For the airport board report, basically, Brian gave the report, but we did have one informational presentation by it's the Skydive Missoula, who wants to have a chapter out here. So in case anyone wants to jump out of an airplane, Brian will take care of dealing with that.
I'll point you in the direction.
Over here. So it was a very good presentation and quite commendable that we did not have a forum at that meeting, but it was informational.
No decision made.
Yeah. That's it, because Brian pretty well gave you everything else.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Town council comments. Councilmember Barker.
I actually had Abby Wilson from Ahava Coffee reach out to me. And as we all know, the corner down there is kind of a tough corner. the way that it was kind of handled, I don't feel that it was very appropriately handled. I think it could have been done a little bit easier or a little bit nicer by meeting with the business owner in person instead of over a phone conversation, letting her know that she would be no longer having parking spaces along the curbing itself. She has grown this business. She bought the business a year ago, will be just about a year ago. I do understand that the corner is a hazard for one, and I've gone down through there to look to see what the difference was from one side of the street to the other side of the street. On the side of Ahava, of course, the road is narrowing on that side as opposed to Kodiak Jack's side. After reading the ordinances on that, to me, as a person, taking myself out as a council member and put myself into a citizen's position, the way it reads is very hard to understand. To be told that she's losing parking, and instead of trying to find a solution on what needs to be done, I think it should have been done first before a phone call. Get with the business owner, make it professional, and go from there. Kylie is, obviously she's with the doghouse, the Big Sky Doghouse. She's bought that business, she's bought Ahava. Going in, I don't think she realized that there wasn't appropriate parking other than along the street. I did talk to her about the parking that was behind the building, and the landlord said that that is not an option. I think we all need to work together and try to figure out a solution for her, because obviously, or the businesses surrounding the area, she's grown it. I mean, she's done a lot of different things for the community. She holds markets down there on Wednesdays. Maybe the surrounding museum would be willing to work with her on it. I mean, just different things, but the way it was handled, I don't think it was handled very professionally. As public eye, I think that we need to look at it as a whole and meet with our business owners and figure out a solution before we jump to conclusions and saying, hey, you're losing your parking. So that's my comments.
Stacy? Any other council comments? Councilmember Smith?
I was trying to formulate this because I too had a conversation with her today. And she did, I commend everything that Stacy has said and agreed. But Ms. Wilson did tell me that she has a lease there until February. And, if she doesn't get the parking or get the, we have the winter coming in, which is going to bring fewer people out, depending on the weather. So I'm in full agreement that we should try to work with her. And she might be able to find something new in February.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll move on to the executive report. On October 31st, Andrina and I had a meeting with Regional Director of the Forest Service over here regarding bulk water and the use of their hydrant and a possible trade for tree work, pruning or whatever with the Forest Service. They did sign a contract with us with a $100 user fee for every year. So that's in place now, so they'll be able to work with us. They've already taken some water out of it too. They've come and reported it to us. This is the first time that's probably ever been done over there, so thank Andrina for that. On 11/4 to the 8th, 11/4, Cindy Brown and I handed out service line notices on all homes all over town, and that saved us about $2,000 by doing that instead of mailing them. On 11/8, Janelle and I had a meeting with Fred Croce regarding the development east of Creekside Estates. And what he basically wanted to do is he wants to, where his lot 8 and 9 are, he wants to put a water and sewer line there underground because he wants to build a home there. And he's capping out because he did say we do not have services for him until we have the water rights resolved. He knows that. And I also told him that he's going to have access from East Side Highway to get in there because if I'm still here and that gets developed, do whatever I can not to let development go through Creekside into that, because that would tear up Creekside like, pretty bad. So that's what's there. Monday, I got a call from Dominic, the mayor of Hamilton, and he says due to, he's so busy that he won't be able to come and do the turkey trot this year to go to local businesses to raise money for the pantry partners. So he asked me if I would do it. So next Friday, I'll be going around to businesses with my turkey suit, trying to raise money for the pantry partners. You're looking for that.
We're looking forward to it, sir.
Are you there as a turkey?
I'm a turkey. So, okay, one last part. Yes, it is a big deal with this Avea coffee. As you know, we had a meeting in July 25th with the Montana Department of Transportation came here and did a presentation about the speed issues, the stop signs, everything else. And one of the issues, in fact, Councilmember Brown raised it. She said, well, what about the S-curves? It's dangerous. Well, I told John when we get more time and things settle down to look at it. Well, in the meantime, we've had accidents there. And after the last accident, John called me on a Sunday and said, Mayor, we have to do something. It's getting bad. So, him and I got together last Thursday, was it, John?
Yes, sir.
We went over to Vaya Coffee, and the owner wasn't there, but the manager was there. I got her phone number. I told him I would call, which I did call her, and I did not receive a response back. And then, of course, this week again, I went over there, talked to the manager, and I did not say we're taking your parking away. I just said we're in the process of it. I did say we were willing to work with you. In fact, Janelle and I went and talked to her husband, her brother, her brother out back there, was it 2 days ago? About possible solutions of working with them, whether, like you said, an empty lot back there with a lay person from Australia or whatever. We didn't know at the time that they're not. We talked about the museum opening that for parking. They can park across the street at Kodiak Gas. That is open parking. Kodiak Gas, when he built that, he went through the right process. He went to the town, he requested a variance for parking, he got that. In fact, Jim Cruz was the mayor at the time, Stacy and I were on the council. And went through planning and zoning, they approved it, went before the council approved it, that's how we got the parking. Well, a former mayor did not do that. When he was heading out the door, he just gave a business permit to Avea Coffee, walked out the door, and then left it to us. And we all can't deny that it's a risky situation. I mean, everybody knows it. I've had calls, Janelle's had calls, Chief Bo has to deal with it, and I do feel bad, I really do. And yes, I don't know any other way I could have mishandled it. I did talk, John and I did go over to the place and talk to her husband at the hot dog place the other day. He understood it, but like he said, is there any way you could work with this out? So we're still trying to do that. In fact, you guys see the emails today that I sent to the Montana Department of Transportation. My issue is, my biggest issue as a mayor, number one is to serve the public, people of Stevensville. 2 is to keep us out of a liability. And I'm telling you, if somebody goes there, opens that door, and a kid or a person steps out of there and a semi comes through there and hits somebody, we wish we would have did something then. Because they're gonna come back, and whether the state or the town for not following the proper procedures in the parking, it's gonna be a huge liability. So yes, I do feel bad, and yes, I don't want to see them go. It's a thriving business. I walk by there many times a day. They have people out there all the time in their park playing hacky sack and cornhole and all that other stuff. Stacy knows they put vendors on there. I mean, it's a very popular place. I get that. But we have a liability issue with the parking. And Janelle and I talked about it today. I haven't talked about it with Chief Bo yet. Him and I went over and we marked off that 500 feet Because if you come from south to north, you're coming around the corner, you can see all the cars on Kodiak Jack side, right? I mean, you can see them as you go around the curve, but if you come from north to south, you go around that curve, you can't see. You might see the back car, but you can't see the car in front of it or the car in front of that. And somebody could, and they can't see the line of sight that's coming behind them. And they have to step out onto the street, the actual street to get out of the vehicle. So now we all know that. That's a liability issue. And that's the main reason that I want to put the park, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's the bottom line. And I don't think a Bay of Coffee wants to see anybody get hurt.
No.
We don't. So you're right, Stacy, we do have to work together. You know, I'll get with John, I'll see if we can shorten up that area through there before coming around that large curve to be able to give them some parking there. And Janelle mentioned that this morning. She didn't sleep because it's on all their minds. It is. And I'm just trying to do the right thing for the town, and I don't want to see us or the state get sued over it. Sooner or later, the odds are gonna catch it. In the wintertime, and put that berm in the middle of the street, that's really tough there.
Yeah.
And I've talked to semi drivers that have taken an alternate route to get to Bird Fork Market to dump their Coca-Cola or beer or whatever, because they don't want to go around in Esther in the winter because of the burn of the vehicles there, it's so tight. So that's the main reason that I want to do it.
Yeah, the last, Mayor, the last accident that I worked right there at that S-curve, the lady that parked her SUV right there at that post where we started our countdown, the tractor trailer came through and ripped her vehicle from the bumper, from the rear driver's side bumper up to the door. As a matter of fact, they totaled her vehicle. And the tractor trailer was doing the speed limit. There was no way he could avoid hitting that vehicle. And I've also seen where people get out of their vehicles parked on that shoulder, and the vehicles that are traveling southbound actually go into the northbound lane to avoid hitting those people that get out of their cars. It really is a dangerous position to park a vehicle. But, like the mayor said, I got with her husband over here at the hot dog place, and we went down there and I took pictures and, for the mayor, for the council to look at possible scenario or solutions, for the parking problem, including allowing a few parking spaces, you know, from central there up toward, that little cutoff road that goes back behind it. And we even walked the property behind it. I talked to him for about an hour and a half. So, I mean, you know, I've spent some time down there trying to help her or find solutions for her parking issues.
I have to, I stopped in there yesterday and talked to him again, so I mean, it's not like we're just taking away your parking, it's,
Well, she just got word tonight that she cannot use the parking space behind their building. So, without a question.
but other than that, go ahead, Jeff.
I know this isn't gonna solve the parking issue, but we need a crosswalk painted at that location from Cody's across.
So there is,
Those crosswalks need to be brightened up, cleaned up, put in, whatever, because
It's not visible at all.
you start, yeah, and you come around that corner and somebody's crossing that street, they're gonna get off.
so yeah, that's something that the mayor and I talked about, the crosswalk right there at Sixth Street, that the students take typically when they walk from school to Burnt Fork Market.
And then when you cut through the car wash, oh,
Yeah. So that one, we talked about having that one repainted, and then the other one is down there near Fifth Street. That crosses, they're in the straightaways. You can't put a crosswalk at the S-curve, but you can put them on the straightaways, and it's just north and south of the S-curve.
Street light there either. So that's my executive report, and with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Can I have a second?
Second.
And a motion, I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
and that is, if you need to do anything.
We can-
Our concerns, they want to